What's happening, Wisdom Warriors? Back at it for another video. How's everybody doing? Happy Tuesday. Hope you're doing well. Let's get into it, man. I think, what we're going to talk a little bit about is unconscious versus conscious. Moving in a way that, unconsciously, there's a lot of humanity that is operating unconsciously, and a lot of us are. I don't care if you're awake or you're not awake. We're not awake 24/7. None of us. I don't think anybody on this in this human experience is. There's people that have gone through deeper awakenings, things that have forced them into awakening in a deeper way. But we can have moments of slipping back in, of being unconscious, like being pulled back into the unconscious state. I think that I still believe, and on my journey, that even when you get pulled back in, there's still a level of awareness, being that you've already awakened to some extent. And when you haven't at all and you're in that complete unconscious state, you can do things and treat others and handle situations and agree to things that you would have never agreed to having been awakened or in that conscious state. On my journey, I've experienced a lot of different things, materialistic wise, monetary wise. The foods that I eat, the way I treat others, the way I treat insects, the way you can kind of, when you're in that awakened state or that conscious state, you can sort of tell somebody that's not. And I'm not, again, I feel like if you're watching this video, you're probably somewhat awake or you are somewhat conscious of what you're doing on an everyday basis. And it's almost like when you awaken or you're conscious, you begin to not want to kill bugs. You kind of, the more and more you awaken, the more and more you become conscious. You don't want to hurt animals, and you begin to, you find yourself going on that plant-based vegan diet because you are so conscious of what you're doing that you're hurting live beings that you change. It changes you. And my hopes with this video is somebody that just had an awakening or is on the awakening journey or the awakening process, that maybe this will guide them in the right direction, or it will give them a better understanding of what they're experiencing and what they're going through. And along my journey, I've had many different awakenings. Coming out of that unconscious state, I began to change in so many ways of how I operated and how I moved, in dealing with others, in doing things unconsciously, that essentially I'm going to necessarily have to pay for, in another life or later down the line, depending on how I treated people, or if it was, let me say, done in the wrong way, or dealt with in the wrong way, or handled things in the wrong way, or mistreated others. Make no mistake about it. We have to pay for that in some way. We have to heal from it in some way, whether it be in this life or another one. There's no getting around that. When we do things in an unconscious state, let me tell you something, man. When you actually wake up and you realize and you look back and you say, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I agreed to go into that contract with somebody. I can't believe I agreed upon that, because now the person that I am now, I would never have done that. And I've had a lot of those moments, as we all do. And then you realize, oh my God, I've been buying all this stuff that I didn't even want or ever even used. And you're like, what was I doing? What was I thinking? How did I end up in this relationship? How did I end up in this situation? How did I end up with these friends? How did I end up with all this stuff? Like, that is the awakening journey. That is being unconscious and living your life in an unconscious state. Um, and I've come across many individuals that just woke up one day and said, what am I doing in this place I'm at? What am I doing in this location? How did I get here? And funny thing is, back in 2017, when I had another awakening, um, I was told by the therapist I was seeing, because at that time, as I've spoke about many times on this channel, there was not much information out there guiding you in that, guiding you into a better understanding of what you were going through, as there is now. And I was told by her, well, it's like you coming out of a movie after a 3 hour movie, and your eyes being all blurred, and you're like squinting, and you're like looking around, and it's like kind of you're trying to refocus, when you come out into the light. Or it's like you having your head buried in the sand, and then you lifting it out and looking around. You're like, what happened to the world after like 20 years of being buried in the sand? That's essentially what happens when you begin to become conscious of the things you're doing and the actions you're taking and the people you're engaging with and how you're engaging with them. That's essentially what begins to happen as you awaken. Um, and let me tell you something, man. It can be really eye-opening, and it can be really a real massive whiplash. Um, like I said, it happened to me many different times. I had different stages of awakening, different stages of coming out of unconsciousness to consciousness. Now, again, like I said in previous videos, what can happen is we get pulled back unconscious. And so you can have many different awakenings. You'll speak to many different people that have had multiple awakenings, and some are much more massive than others. Some can be very little, just to nudge you out of it, and then others can be like you had to hit rock bottom to get that awakening, or you had to have a death in the family or a health challenge, or like has happened to me. And that's why I say I woke up many different times, because there was a lot of different deaths I experienced at different stages of my life, but a large majority were when I was young. And that's why I had awakenings at such a young age. But then you lose yourself in different ways. You get pulled back in by different people, different family members, partners. So many different things can pull you back asleep, so to speak. That's why you hear a lot of people say people are asleep, people are awake, unconscious or conscious. It's essentially like kind of you, if you're not fully understanding what it is, it's essentially like you doing things where you're not aware of what you're doing. And you don't really care, because you don't really even realize that you're doing those things in that way. So if you're mistreating others, you don't even realize that you're mistreating them, because you're mistreating them out of unhealed childhood, unhealed inner child, unhealed child wounds, trauma, old patterning, old beliefs. You're essentially you're essentially moving through life unconsciously doing these things from those places. So you could be treating others from your inner child that was never healed. You could be, um, you could be just old belief systems, old limiting beliefs. All the trauma, the brainwashing, the manipulation, all that stuff, the subconscious stuff. You're essentially um, uh, um, acting from that, and you don't even realize you're doing it. You know, like I said, there's been many moments in my life when I was doing that, when someone cuts you off on the road and you give them the bird and you're yelling and screaming through the window, and that's all unconscious, because now, from the state that I'm in now, I wouldn't do that. um, I see it from a different lens. I view it from a different perception, from a different perspective. I realize that every move I make, every step I take, I'm, I'm, I'm essentially impacting not only myself, but I'm impacting that individual and people around. It doesn't matter. I realize that now. Versus, like, it's you versus me. You tried to take my spot. Now it's you versus me. And now you took my spot. So now I'm gonna yell and scream at you. It's ego versus ego. It's like I said, you're not awake. You're unconscious to what you're actually doing. And so, you know, you can walk around hurting others without even realizing you're hurting them. And then you just think it's them hurting you and you're hurting them, and now they hurt you, so you're going to get them back. And versus, like, um, you essentially doing the healing, for your past, or your past lives, or the way you were treated as a kid. So now you're gonna then turn around and treat others that way because you're not conscious of it. A lot of us are zombified, and a lot of us are just walking around in trance, and don't even have a clue of how we're treating others, and how we're treating animals, and how we're treating bugs and insects. And it's interesting when you are on this journey of awakening more and more. I walk around, I'm like, how do people just spray pesticides in their house where they're living to get rid of? And it's interesting because I spoke about this yesterday, I think it was, or maybe I didn't. Maybe I did it on the podcast, about how nature is inside. So, like, going outside, which we're used to hearing, like, you're going to go outside, is actually going inside. And going inside in your home, what you call your home, like where you sleep at night, is actually going outside of you. So if you can wrap your head around that and actually understand that, like me stepping outside my front door into where the birds are and the trees, that's essentially inside you. And then when you go inside your house, where you would call home, that's outside. It's kind of been inverted. Well, not kind of, it's been inverted the way it's been shown and taught to us. Because nature, where the birds are and the trees are, is really outside, is really inside. Sometimes I have to correct myself because I've been so conditioned to that's outside, and it's not outside. It's inside. That's inside us. And so, yeah, it's mind blowing. So then you think, okay, well, you're gonna spray these chemicals in, not inside but outside, in the place that you're sleeping, because you're sleeping inside this building that was created, and you're spraying these chemicals all over to exterminate these bugs that was created by nature, or by God, by the universe, just like you were. But you're trying to get rid of them because we've been, made to be scared of nature, animals, bugs, creation, and we have to run inside this enclosure that we've built, and we're afraid of like the trees and the nature and the grass and the animals, and that's really inside of us. And I'm going to go deeper into this topic another time. um, I'm going to keep these videos shorter, 20 minutes at least, somewhere around there, so that no the attention spans for a lot of us are very short, and I want to get straight to the point, and just so you can get what you need out of the video, and it will resonate more with you, and we'll see how things go. And if you like these shorter videos, drop it in the comments and let me know. And don't forget to go over to Spiritual Boot Camp and subscribe and comment and like and share. We're going to try to cut those videos shorter too, because we went very long in the first one that we dropped. We really wanted to drive home the message that we were bringing. So if you get a chance, type in Spiritual Boot Camp, Just Breathe, check it out. I'm going to link it in the description. Subscribe, comment, share, like, get the message out. And do the same with this video, of course, and this channel if you haven't already. I love you all so much. I love coming on here. I love teaching. I love sharing my experiences. And I'm gonna do many more parts to this unconscious, conscious way of being, because we need to understand it. And I know a lot of us are, a lot of you, and we're all waking up more and more. Again, I don't think anybody is fully awake, because the fact of the matter is we get pulled back in. We get pulled back asleep. So, and it's like kind of a back and forth. So, I don't think at any given moment we're fully awake all the time. And so I want to drive this message home, and if you are just waking up for the first time, at least you will have some kind of guidance, an understanding, because I didn't many, many different times, and it was not fun, and it was not pretty, and nobody understood me, and I didn't even understand myself, and I was confused and lost, and there's times I'm even still like that. So my hope is that I can share my experiences and my guidance, and so that you can navigate it better and have an easier time than I did, so that's part of the reason I feel like I want to get this message out in the best way I can. And if you are, talk about your story in the comments so you can help others, and we can hear and read your story, and maybe we're going through something that will help us through our awakening process. Just share. It's a safe space. Let's help one another. Let's help each other on this journey, because we're all going through it. We're all going through it as a collective too. And again, there's some that are farther along, some that it happened years ago, some that it's just happening now. And we can all give guidance and help each other. Maybe right now you do eat meat. Maybe you have awakened, but you still are eating meat, and at some point you'll awaken even more, and then to realize maybe that's not for you anymore. That happened to me multiple different times, and now finally I've gotten to a point where I haven't had meat in a couple years, and I'm vegan and raw, and mostly raw. I eat some processed, but I'm getting more and more into non-processed. That's another thing you begin to awaken to, and just the way things are being done, and the way things are in the world, and the way things are in the system, and you just really, I want to share and help you navigate it better, and we can help each other, because we're all, like I said, waking up at different times, and we're all waking up in our own way. And maybe we did years ago, and then maybe we fell kind of back asleep, and then maybe we woke up again, and and we woke up to different things, and you start to be like, I don't want this stuff anymore that I have, and what the hell did I buy it for, and what did I need it for, and I never used it, and This is all different things that you're going to start realizing on this awakening journey, because this is the great awakening and it can't be stopped. And humanity's waking up more and more and more. Some are never going to wake up. I'm going to be real with you. You may have family members, friends, romantic partners that will never wake up. And that's okay. That's their journey. That's their path. They may not be meant to wake up in this life. That it'll be in another life. You know, another incarnation. That's okay. That's their journey. Just have compassion for them. You know, because at one point you were not awake. You know, and I try to hold that compassion for everyone on this journey, and you can't force anybody to. They're going to wake up when they're going to wake up, and that's the bottom line. And you cannot force it. It's going to happen if it's going to happen, and that's it. You know, that's all you can do. Just hold compassion and just keep on your path. And yeah, I think that's where we're going to leave the video. Look at that, just about 20 minutes. I think it's perfect right there. And we'll do part twos and part threes to this. This is a huge one that a lot of us need help and guidance with. And I feel called to share my story and my awakening process, and what's going on and what's happening, because you do feel confused and you do feel lost, and it is a struggle, and especially if you're in a group or a family dynamic that you're the only one that's awake. It is very frustrating, and I know I can relate, and I'm sure a lot of us can, and you begin to shift, and you're not in alignment anymore, and it doesn't feel right, and things don't feel right, and you can't do the same things you used to do anymore, because it just doesn't align with you. That's all part of the awakening process, and it can't be stopped. I mean, you can't, but you can fall back asleep, and you're not going to feel in alignment with that anymore anyways, even if you did. The deeper you awaken, So with that being said, if you haven't already, please like, share, subscribe, comment. I love you all so much. Please take care of yourself and each other. From my heart to yours, I love you all so much. I will see you soon. We have so much coming on this channel and the other one, Spiritual Boot Camp. I'm going to be getting together with a collaboration with Johan. We're going to figure things out. We're going to get these videos rolling out to you all. And, more to come. Stay tuned. I love you all so much. Take care. I will see you soon. Let's go, Wisdom Warriors. We got this.